morning. Thanks for joining me. I hope you're having a wonderful week so far and doing something creative today. I hope you get to do something creative to get your juices going today. Let's see who's joining me. This is where I'm always like, oh, I should have grabbed my glasses. Amarita, and we've got some of our TE people on. Your kit arrives today. I think that's a Linda. Good morning. I hope you've gotten your kit. I know I got mine. I am so excited about it. It's kind of been something that's swirling around in my brain for a while. I just love that tile look. We were in Barcelona like a year and a half ago, and I just saw it everywhere. It was in the kitchen in one of the VRBOs we stayed at, and I don't know, I love it. It's always been a special, sweet thing in my heart. I love it. So good morning from chilly Kansas City. Yes, you and us both here. And Illinois and Indiana, Michigan. Good morning, everyone. Yes, aren't we all cold right now? I feel like all the way, I saw this morning, all the way down to Florida and Sarasota, they're going to have cold weather warnings. I thought it was so funny. We were on Christmas, we were down in Florida, and in Iowa, they were getting ice and a storm. And down in Florida, they were giving these weather warnings that they were going to be cold, and their high was like 54. And I was like, that's so funny that even down in Florida, that's considered a weather warning, that they're going to be less than 60. So, but you get used to what you live in, right? So good morning from Minnesota and Alabama. Beautiful on Orange Beach. So not everyone is cold. I love it. Good for you. That is an area that I hope to go. We've not spent any time there, so Orange Beach, might have to add that one to the bucket list. My husband loves to travel. Good morning from frigid New York, and that has a special place in my heart. We're working on a trip. My daughter's going to sing with her choir group for a Carnegie Hall, just their choir group, and I'm not really sure. It's not like it's something more with just their choir group that they're singing at Carnegie Hall. So we're excited. Hopefully it's not frigid when we get there in May, but hopefully you warm up. Good morning. 70s in Arizona. Okay, so I was wrong. You guys are not all cold. So thanks for joining me. The kit, let's talk about it. Isn't it pretty? I even love the little sticker on the front. So I'm going to show you a graphic. So don't forget, there's very, very few of the kits left. So make sure if you were sitting on it and thinking about it, get it. There's less than 20 left. We know we're going to sell out. It's not something that I don't, it could be back in our catalog in the future, but it's gone for now. Once it's gone for a while, for sure. Who knows if it comes back out on its own. But yeah, get that kit. If you buy the whole kit or the big bundle, you'll get an extra special video that we're going to put out to you. And there's a QR code, there's a QR code in your kit that you can use to see more inspiration. So if you want that kit, make sure you get it because it is going. Let's see. Any more of you joining me? Virginia and South Carolina, you guys are all over the place. I love it. Thanks for joining me because you're all in such different time zones too. Some of you are getting up really early. Some of you are halfway to your day. So I appreciate that you remembered to come and jump on. But yes, only like 20 or less of these left. So if you were thinking about it, get it. I think there's lots of possibilities, and I think it could make a really good note card like set. Like if you wanted to make a set for a gift or something, I feel like it's a good all occasion look. So, well, let's go down and see what we're going to work on today. I put more than just my card for today. This is the one we're going to make today. But I wanted to go back. These are all cards that I have made. This one is the Taylor tutorial in your kit. I love this one. I love how it turned out. I love the light blues, and the colors that I used here are the same colors I used here, but just in a different way. This one was more with white embossing folder. This one is actually with ink that we're gonna do today. So yeah, very fun. And then this one was just another one when I was messing around with making my cards. I did this one. So I embossed that whole set of tiles in gold and cut them out. And then I used this pierce plate, and I'm going to be bad. I should have looked this up, the name of this pierce plate. I might ask Sarah to phone a friend. Can you tell me the name of that pierce plate?
Yes.
That one, it is one of those that you have to poke all the holes out of it, but it allows for you to then show the gold through. Isn't that pretty? Kind of gets that another layer of that gold going on. I was told once to, like, if you're going to use a color, to try to use it 3 times. So I feel like using it in the cardstock, in the embossing, and then I used it on the sentiment. So we have our 3 of the gold going on.
That's our pierced grid cutting plate die.
Pierced grid cutting plate die. Thank you for that. The fun part about it, and it's the same thing that I'm kind of going to talk about with the grid one in a minute, is that can you see these tiles land right in the middle of 4 of those pierced tiles, or pierced triangles. They're a square, but on they're like a diamond shape. So can you see that? So 1, 2, 3, 4 of them fits one of those die cuts perfectly. Does that make sense? I thought that was really fun. So as long as you position your cardstock to be centered, you could do that by either using the pierced plate first and then an A2 die to cut it out, whichever. But can you see how my piercings are even top to bottom, left to right? As long as you get it on your paper that way, you can just find the center. And then I started by placing that one first and then worked my way out. So kind of a different look. I felt like you just get such different feels with your color choices. And this gold I thought was more elegant. I thought I could make a really pretty wedding card or anniversary card, thank you card, whatever you use it for. But also really fun that you can make each of these land in a section of 4 of these squares. Isn't that cool? I love it. So, but this is the one we're going to work on today. And I am going to use the grid again. And what I did was I found the middle of that grid, which is really easy to do. This is what it looks like on its own. This is a really good, just kind of, what I always want to call them staple product. Like you've got your staple products in your pantry, like your flour and your sugar. This one is like, I feel like a staple. It can be used for so many things. I feel like it can go masculine or feminine. We've had it around for a while. I think it came out with one of our like shape kits. I can't remember if it was the circles or one of them. Maybe it was the squares. Yeah, we had the squares released too. I can't remember, but this one, it makes it really easy to find the center. You can use something like your Pear Blossom Press A2 ruler and then find the center and make marks. That works too, whichever works for you. But if you get your paper centered on here, it should be really easy to find the middle of your panel. So we're gonna work on that today. So let's get started. Something that I've showed you guys many a times in the past, but I want to show you again, is how because you all know how much I love to emboss. Isn't that crazy? Look, all 3 of the cards that I created were embossing in some way. So I guess I think it was a triangle, someone said, with the grid. Yes, thank you. I love cutting plates, and I love pierced cutting plates especially. So I love that. Quilting squares, that's what it was. Thank you, the quilt kit. Thank you guys. But it's just kind of a good staple to have around. I feel like it's really great. I've even used it over floral panels just to kind of give them some texture. So I use it quite a bit. I like it. But back to this, I like my color, but I like to have it clear embossed. So this is one of my favorite things to do, and I know I get a lot of questions about it. My biggest tip for you is when you put down the color and you stamp it, obviously leave your stamp in place. Go ahead and clean it up right away after you've stamped. That way it gives your red rubber a little bit of time to dry. But I also like to give my ink a little time to dry and settle into the cardstock. So thank you. I see you guys all helping with the grid and all the things. Thank you. So I stamped this before I went live, and it's with blueberry. The other color that I've already done was a gumball panel, because the blues are just what speak to me for this. I know obviously it's the sticker on the pouch, but that was the inspiration that I had originally when we were talking about this kit. I just think that, I know Taylor called it Delft. I literally had to look it up when she said it. I've always just called it like a Moroccan tile type look. I did not know that that was a Dutch thing. I have a friend, her family's Dutch, and I know she has a whole cabinet of this blue and white china that she has in her cabinet. So it totally makes sense, but I never put that together. So Taylor taught me something new. So from this kit is our Trendy Tile stamp. I'm just going to show you the stampings. I have everything all pulled apart already. So the Trendy Tile stamp that comes in your kit when you purchase that one. There's the big bundle also, but this one is in the basic, the main one. So I stamped that earlier so that I could let that dry, because blueberry, if you stamp the Versamark over the top of it right away and trap that color before it's dry, it can almost look blue corn. And blue corn, on the other hand, if you do the same thing with blue corn, can almost look black sometimes. So make extra sure that you stamp it and just give it a little bit of time to dry. I always like clean off my stamp and maybe work on your sentiment or work on something else. Today I went ahead and did it ahead of time. Another reason why you want to let this dry is so that if you do have any little bit of wet ink, that it doesn't contaminate the top of your powder tool. Ask me how I know. Legit. I've done it. I've had to clean up my powder tool before. I had to just peek. I have made it blue before. Don't worry, you won't find it in the studio. It is at my house. But that's another good reason to let your ink dry into the paper and settle in. You'll get a more true color trapped underneath your Versamark. So I stamped that about 10 minutes before we went live. So I guess it's been drying for closer to 20 minutes, but sometimes it's just long enough to do a sentiment or something else. You'll know for sure if you're getting any color on your powder tool. So powder tool that, then I'm inking. I've obviously cleaned, even though it's stained, the blueberry off my stamp. We will press that really well. I didn't even know there was jewelry made with that. Delft, I apologize if I'm saying it wrong. It's just a word I just learned on Tuesday. So jewelry, that sounds pretty. I'm gonna have to Google that, because as soon as Taylor said it on the live Tuesday, I had to Google it. It made a whole lot of sense. Actually, that friend, I am meeting her on Saturday night for dinner, so I might have to bring her one of these cards, or maybe a set of them. Wouldn't that be nice? I think she would appreciate that, because it really reminds her of her mom. Her mom is the Dutch heritage in her family. So, okay, so I did it twice just because that's what I do, and if I can, the Misty makes that so easy for me to be able to stamp things twice. I'm going to grab a scratch piece of paper and my clear embossing powder. Shake this on. I will say with the lighter colors, I've already done the Gumball. It can be hard to see whether your embossing powder is done or not. The biggest thing I would tell you to do is kind of tip it in the light. You're looking for areas that look dull and obviously grainy, but anything that looks dull is not finished heating. Tap that off. Funnel this back in. Set that all aside. And then my heat tool, being as I used it right before I went live, should be good for us. I always like to have it heat up a little. This time of year is just nice to heat up your hands. Yeah, you're right. Handmade cards are a lovely gift. I gave away 3 sets this year as gifts. I had plans for way more, but we had that discussion before the holidays, right? I had big plans. Some things went to the wayside. I might have to do that for her. Her birthday's in March, and I haven't seen her since before Christmas, so that would be nice. Let's see if I get some time to get that done. I do always heat up the back of my paper. One, it gives my heat gun time to heat up. Helps a little bit with warping. Now with the blueberry, look how easy it is to see what's done and what's not done. Can you see that? This corner here is done. This one's much easier to see. I will say the Gumball is a little more challenging, just like I said. turn off your heat gun, kind of tip it in the light, you'll see where it looks dull. Crazy, usually for me, it's the edges that for some reason, I don't know if I just don't spend enough time around the edges, but that's usually where I find that I've missed something. I didn't use my embossing mitts. I've got to turn the paper so I don't burn my fingers. Isn't that, I don't know. This is what really got me into stamping, was embossing, and it has held true for 20 plus years. That is just my favorite thing to do. Rotate this. I can see that this little corner looks dull. It's where I started. Okay, I'm going to tip it around just a little bit. Oh, like I said, my edges are always what gets not fully finished. And that held true again today. I don't know if I just don't see it. The center seems to always be done. There we go. Isn't that beautiful? Oh gosh, I just love that on its own. That is done, even though it looks a little dull. I must have maybe had a little bit lighter stamping going on there. Isn't that just pretty on its own? I love it. All right, and then also part of the thing that's in your kit that is there is the cutting plate. Sorry, I gotta find my cutting plate. I know it's here. Oh, right here. Thank you. I am so bad at, it's right underneath my nose. It is true. I know people have talked about it. It is true that there is something with embossing that does shrink your paper a little bit. I don't know the science behind it, but I know it's real. So if the outer edges seem a little off when you go to put your cutting plate over it, don't be alarmed. Some of the outer edges we don't need anyway, but there is, it doesn't really ever, you never notice it on small areas, but bigger areas you will notice it every once in a while. So I'm gonna move this around just to pick whichever area I like the best, because I can tell this one got a little blurry. I'm not sure what I did. That's on the user. So I'm gonna get that lined up. We'll grab some temporary tape. I'm gonna line up a couple of things before I bring my die cut machine in. I just wanted to double check that I'm not missing anything. Yes, you have to use, don't forget to use your, uh-oh, who's that? Someone that, oh, Whitney. I was like, who said that? I gifted her a set of cards. I have gifted Whitney a set of cards. My friend Chris got a set of cards this year. My friend Yolanda got a set of cards this year. My friend Cindy got a set of cards this year. I don't know. I had intentions for more people to get sets of cards. Like my sister. Just didn't get done. There's time. There's still time, right? It can just be a just because. So I've got that all lined up. Another thing that I'm going to do while I have my die cut machine in the picture here is we're going to use that pierced grid on a piece of blueberry. And then once I run that through and I have that cut, I am going to cut it down with the third largest of our A2 layer stacklets. So while I get the machine in here and in our view, I will do both things. Several things, right? I know Taylor showed you the new Sizzix. It's pretty cool. I've used it a few times. I don't know. Are people in need of a new machine, or is it just because you like the look of the new machine? Because I'll probably stick with my old machine until it breaks. That's kind of me. I'll just stick with my old one until it breaks. I like the new one though. All right, we're gonna run this through the die cut machine. Being this is a 6x6 piece of paper, you do have to make extra sure you've got it lined up straight, and I'm going to make it make a snap, crackle, pop noise because I can't offset it. If you offset your dies going through the machine, especially rectangles, if you offset them a little bit, your machine makes less noise. Can't do that today. All right, pop those out. all I'm doing off to the side here is popping out all those pieces because I realized I have to do the gumball panel too, so we have both. When you do this, you're cutting out 2, but you can make so many cards. You'll have so many pieces to make more and more cards. So let's line this one up while we're here. Run this one through. I saw people that said they already had their kits. Like someone said they were going to get theirs today already. That's awesome. I went downstairs and bought mine from the studio. So it's the nice perk of working for TE and living close, right? Let's run this one through also. Make sure I'm on. Let's see what else you guys have. The removable tape is already out of stock. Are you kidding me? If you guys only knew how many we bought, like that makes me laugh because they bought a lot. You guys are just, you're just keeping it for backups. I know. There's no way. I can't believe it. I didn't even get any, but that's okay. Like I said, I'm not out. I'm fine. I have one backup and that's all I need in the box right now. I love it. You guys are awesome. Everyone's so worried. And the teal tape's back in stock. Gumball. Yep, Gumball was the lighter one and Blueberry is the darker one. So yes. So here's our pierced grid. I'm gonna go ahead and I really want this to make extra sure that it's lined up because again, I want that grid to look centered and so that I can use it kind of as my guidelines. So let me pause for a second. I always say I can't line things up in chat very well. So I always feel like I'm concentrating really hard. And hopefully I didn't get my head in the way, but I just want to make sure it's straight. This one I can tip a little bit just so that hopefully it won't snap, crackle, pop in your ears. You have the electric machine. I've never had an electric machine. Over the years, there's been so many. Long time ago, Tim Holtz had an electric machine. Oh my gosh, that removable tape did not last long. It was out of stock on Tuesday. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's all right. We'll get more.
We have less than 15.
Less than 15 kits. We are, that's hilarious. Isn't it? Does anyone, is QVC still a thing? That feels like QVC. I love it. It does. If you hear a voice, a sweet voice in the background, that is Miss Sarah. She is helping me today. She's very helpful around here. So hopefully you guys will get to meet her the next time you're in person here. Okay. Scooch this stuff. You guys know me. I go crazy when I feel embossing powder. I feel it. We're going to clean this off. I love my embossing powder. I just don't ever want it on my surfaces. How sad is that? I have a love-hate relationship, I guess. So I'm going to pull all of these. We can just pop all of these out. Save. You will save as many of these pieces. I would be curious. Let's see how many full-size pieces you get. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9 plus 4, right? 13 full pieces. That's pretty good. You can make a lot of cards with that. Even save these little edge ones. I'm sure you guys can get creative. So I want to pick out the ones that I'm going to use and we'll ink blend the edges of them. Get the full size ones out. I had to double check that. So 2, 4, 6, and then 9. So actually more than that. You get 15. I counted wrong. Did you guys catch that already? Yes, come travel here. Anna, is the Anna Griffith Impress, that's not electric, is it? I don't know, I always worry. Like, I'm like, what if that electric motor goes out in it? I don't know. I like control, so I've never ventured into one of them. Okay. I was kind of particular about where my placement and what I picked for each one. So let's start with, I'm going to grab this one, and I know I want this. I might just copy because it'll be easier for me here. Just copy my original pattern, or at least something close. I'm going to grab those pieces to put here, there, and everywhere. I love the center one. I did cover it up though. And this one, I want to ink blend the edges because when I look at tiles, whichever kind of tiles you're looking at, I love that it almost kind of looks like the ink kind of bled a little bit. I'm not really sure, but I just kind of like that look. So grab those, grab that one. Obviously, I cannot choose and speak to you at the same time. Maybe I'll ask Sarah if there's any questions I'm missing. No.
We're debating between the electric and
oh, are we?
handcraft.
Okay.
Yeah. A lot of people are liking their electric. That's how I broke my cutting plate.
Oh, your mother-in-law's cutting plate.
Yes.
Or not mother-in-law's. Yes,
Yeah,
your partner's.
No, it is. Yeah, it was her cutting plate. I was putting it through the machine and the electric didn't stop it and then it broke.
Oh no.
Handmaking soon. It wasn't even my product.
She broke just, you know, the cutting plate, the top clear piece, she broke it and it wasn't her machine, so she was worried. And yeah, we all know, right? That can be easily replaced. So, and then I'm going to kind of put just a place marker here just in case we run out of time today, just to have one in case I don't get to the friend. But those look good. It's a little bit different than the things I was looking for is I didn't want too many lines together in a row or too many of these like little, I love these little flourishes on the edge, but I didn't want too many of those going on. So like that's kind of what my eye is looking for, because I might switch this out because I was noticing this and this kind of have the edge lines. So I was looking for that. These two I might have to switch because I have parts with the edge lines kind of opposite each other now. So that's kind of what I was looking for. If you're wondering like, why is she taking so long to pick her pieces? That's kind of what I'm looking for. So just to pick out kind of the center, I didn't do any fancy marking, but you can take your A2 Pear Blossom press ruler, I love it, and use that to kind of pick your center. So now I know the center is the middle of this. So let me pick it up. Maybe that'll make it easier for you to see. It's the middle of this row. It's my center. Wait, the middle of... Get my ruler in place here. So it's this row here, this pierce of this row. Then it should be the middle right there. So it's right here is the center. You can mark it whatever. I'm just going to know that that's where my center point is. But my edges on this top, bottom, left, right all still look the same, and I have the same amount up here, down here, left to right. I always like that look just so that I know it kind of looks, everything looks centered. So I'm going to grab some foam tape because I do want foam tape on the back of these. This might be a little tedious and could be part that you want to skip, but I just went through and I chopped up all my pieces to get it ready to go. And then I'm just going to put, I put them all kind of on a diagonal like this, and I'll start, and I'm going to put that back on. Do you know what I forgot to do? I want to ink blend all these edges. Like I said, I felt like it just gave a little bit of something going on, that little bit of color, and I used Gumball for the edge of all of them. I just kind of thought that brought the two colors in. Peel that off. And then here is the center, because that line, this pierced line is my center. And then this row, I like being able to use that kind of as my guide. No measuring needed then. So that gives me my center. Then I can take whichever one of these you have left over. I'm gonna grab this one. Then I can go like this and place this on here. And from here on, I can use this to make sure they're all placed evenly all the way out. As long as you get your center down, you're good after that. So I'll just ink blend these. I don't want to lose my markings, or how I have this laid out, I should say. Don't want to have to do it again, right? And this does hang off the edge just slightly. Am I missing something?
Oh, we had someone asking about how we like organize in our craft room, how we organize dies and stamps.
Mm-hmm.
So
That is a big question.
It is
That
probably
is
too big for just this live, but I
yeah.
thought maybe we could show.
That might be, that is, and it's ever changing is what I think. Does anyone else agree with me that it's been stamping for a while? I feel like I get something the way I want it and then I change my mind. I just redid my marker situation over the weekend because I was like, you know what? This is not working for me anymore. And I kind of switched it up and gave myself permission to, I had gotten a gift of money from my parents for Christmas, and I decided, I was like, I am going to get a new marker storage, and I am happy about it. So I'll show you here. As soon as I'm done ink blending the last one, I just want to be able to wipe up the ink and get it out of the way. I feel like that just kind of takes that harsh white away from the edges of those die cuts, and I also think it just looks more like the real tiles. So we and I'm not going to know the name of all of these, but we on the TE website, we sell magnetic panels so that you can put your die cuts on them, and then we put them in the sleeves so that we can mark them. In my stamp room, I don't need the names at home, so that's kind of more up to you. Same way with our stamps. I immediately take my stamps out of their packaging and I put them in a pouch with the coordinating dies. I can't have them in two different places. Sometimes I have magnetic panels, sometimes I don't. Here in the office, we always have a magnetic panel for our dies just to keep them in place. Sometimes we throw in our extras, which is kind of nice. Yeah, that's how, I hope that helps, but I definitely try my hardest to keep things together so I don't have to go this way and that way looking for something. But someone I said they wish they could gut their stamp room. I did a really deep clean this last year, and I am grateful that I had time to get it done. But I did, I think it was maybe like 10 years ago. We had been in our house for 10 years, and I just decided I'm going to do this. And I packed it all up into boxes. I think it's the only way to do it is to actually see what you have. And yeah, it's painful, and it was even painful for my husband because he had to step over boxes for a while, but it was definitely worth it. So if you have time to get it done. I had a weekend where my husband was traveling, and I had this was, like I said, like 10 years ago. And I had 4 days to myself. He helped me pack it up and bring it down, and then I slowly just kind of put things back. So it was kind of if you have the time and the space for it. So yeah, I'm kind of torn about the foilets. Someone's saying that they store their foilets. So if you have a sentiment foilet set, you keep that with the foilets. That part I'm not the best at right now. I have all my foilets together, but I did buy the bigger pouches that we sell with the Velcro closures, and I might go that route. I agree with you. Let's see, who's that? She says 30 years and it's always evolving. I agree. Okay, so I used my grid, or what I had cut out, to place these so I could make sure they were all in the right spot. I didn't have to worry about it. Being this is just my guide right now. If I have any trouble, I will, like if I can't get the negative off, I will just sacrifice it and cut it. So it doesn't really matter. Oh, I have one. I missed a few. Let's take care of those. If they get caught, do you know what I mean? Sometimes you put them in there and then they get a little snug, or they don't want to move past the paper. I just will take my scissors and cut it. So don't be worried. Sorry, I got to get it back down. I thought that went so smoothly. Let's just put all 3 of these down. We'll be good to go.
Or distracting
Oh,
you.
I know, I almost missed 3. That was crazy. All of a sudden I'm like, why are they moving? And this is a good way to do it if you like, it's a little bit quicker, I feel like. That's how I did it originally, is I just put all my foam tape down and placed them. So I feel like it goes just a little bit quicker that way. This one does not want to come apart for me. There we go. Die pick to the rescue. This one here. Now I do have to make sure I moved it, so I've got to make sure my ones with kind of the border edges are opposite each other. Now I can pull it out of here. And like I said, if for some reason it gets stuck in the center, I have no qualms about just giving it a haircut. It'll make it easier to pull it out of there. There we go. And then they should all be in place perfectly, because this was going to be garbage anyway. I suppose you could cut that off and use the outer part, but you end up with these little bit of stamping that's left over on the edges. So it's just not quite as pretty. Scooch that out of the way. And then there's our panel. Isn't that pretty? And on this one, I used the friend stamp to add that right there. Up to you. It's from the stamp set that comes in your kit. You've got the friend, and then you have the die that matches it to put that in there, so you can say hello friend. That way I have one for each occasion, one to say hello to a friend, or one just to say hello to anyone. Now this piece of gold, it's our TE gold foil cardstock, and I already die cut it with our 1/8 inch easy strips. And you can cut that with a trimmer, just to get the 1/8 inch, but I don't, as hard as I try, though, my 1/8 inches are never perfect to each other. So I do love using this, and then I will just store my extras in with my gold foil cardstock because I use it quite a bit. So, and I think I only did half of the strip, like if you're trying to conserve your gold foil cardstock. So we'll grab some liquid glue. I'm gonna glue this across the top of here. And where it's going to end up is right along that grid line. So easy for me. I will know that it's straight, but I will for sure double check with my ruler, as I always do. Me and my rulers. I swear, even when I travel with my craft stuff, I do bring a ruler with me. Place that along there like that. We'll let that one dry. Place a magnet over the top. This one, I just love using the die because I get a beveled edge. It's perfect every time. I even like, I know I will have to trim this end off, but on this end I end up with a beveled edge. I just like that look. So that will hold those in place. Now this die is an older one. We've had it around for a while, but it's called Signature Hello, and it has a backer. We have Thanks, but I'm pretty sure the backer is out of stock. But I stacked them up. So I cut the Hello out of gold foil cardstock, and then I cut 2 more pieces of white out so that I could stack them up. And then I did 2 more pieces of white so I could stack it on the back. So I have the Hello in gold and 4 times in white, and then the backer once out of vellum. So I didn't want to cut the little slivers, but I wanted just a little bit of that popped up look on my Hello. And I thought you won't want to stand here and watch me put them together, but with liquid glue, it makes it so easy. So we'll cut off our edges here. Gives us a perfect straight across spot. And then put a little bit of liquid glue behind this. Anyway, it would be absolutely great just to do the vellum and then the gold Hello on the top. I just wanted that little bit of lift and character without having to cut little tiny pieces of slivers of foam adhesive to go behind there. So I'm still, I know I give you guys an update just about every time. And working through my bottle of Barely Arts glue. It's down to like that much in the bottle, I think. I don't know. I take great pride in using a whole entire bottle till the end. So let's take this and we'll lay this across the center. And again, I didn't do today the friend, but absolutely you could, there's a couple of sentiments in there if you wanted to do something else. You could even do thanks and thanks again. Let me grab my ruler. I just want to make sure I've got this straight going across. There we go. Center it up a little bit. And then I always put a magnet of some sort over the top. Just hold it in place while it dries. Then we'll add just a few of the gold glitter drops. I think I didn't want to be too much with them, but I just put them on the 4 outer corners, mainly because like some of these in the center and the friend, I didn't have a spot for it, so I didn't want it to look out of place. But all 4 of these outer corners were like perfect for that. So I don't know, is anyone else like me? Do you find great joy in getting to the bottom of your die cut machine? And yes, a lot of comments about loving the electric die cut machine. I should try one. Also with my liquid glue and putting drip drops down, I will go ahead because I know what I'm doing and where I'm going with them. I'm going to put my 4 dots in each of those spots ahead of time. And I have my little gold drip drops all planned out. I'll put them on the edges first. And I did pick the smaller ones for this because I wanted to enjoy the look of my tile and just a little bit of an accent. One more. And then you'll know my cards because they usually have, besides the center issue of what's going on with my little floral tiles, 5 is my number. So I usually put 2 in the upper left and 3 in the bottom right. And that's just kind of my go-to. It's that triangle thing, that odd numbers. Do you guys have a rhyme or reason with your drip drops? I always say I am a rule follower. So that is in my personality. I'm a rule follower. I like things kind of like this. I know what looks good. So 5 is that odd number that they talk about a lot in home decor and that kind of stuff. And I just don't want it to ever take over my card. My hello and the tiles are what I want you to see. So kind of the extras of adding these is, there's my 5. Does anyone else have kind of a pattern that they follow usually? So, oh, I still see the electric die cut machine. I'm just going to have to give it a whirl. I'm so afraid I'm going to break it, I think. That might be, maybe that is what it comes down to. I'm just afraid I'm going to break it. So, my card base is one of our A2 sugar cube top folding card bases. I'm going to lay it flat. This is the way I've told you guys this before, I always lay it flat just because I don't want to accidentally glue it upside down. That always helps me to know for sure that I'm laying it down perfect. I can't tell you, it's just like I said earlier, it's an ask me how I know. I have glued too many card panels on upside down. I did it here in the office, like, I think it was like a month ago, and I held it up to Taylor. I was like, see, I didn't follow what I teach. And I do not have tea to spill. Let me say that for today. Usually I let you guys know that early on. There is not a video from Taylor and Whitney on Saturday, but there is something. Just check the fan page. Is that where it lands, Sarah? Is it the fan page? I can't remember. Or is it YouTube? I can't remember. I know something, sneak peek or just kind of a teaser will be going on over the weekend. Look for it. It is really good. I'm excited about it. I can't wait to purchase what's coming on Tuesday. So let's just leave it at that because I don't want to be in trouble for telling too much. There's more electric. Okay, you guys, I'm going to have to try this. I think Taylor used to have one at the old studio or at our old building. So, yeah, it would be great because can you just send stuff through and just walk away for a sec? That would be great. So I put, again, my favorite, which is the 30-second foam tape on the back of them. I always do 4. Have you guys seen this? This was released last week. It is my new favorite thing. So we released the storage stuff last Tuesday. That's why the last time I did a live, I had no sneak peek for you. I think it was last Tuesday or the Tuesday before, but I love having a storage spot for my foam tape now. I'm obsessed. So, and I saw what Taylor said, her tip for she said to take on the edges of your foam tape to pounce it with the anti-static tool that I was using earlier, just to kind of get the sticky off of there. I thought that was brilliant. So if any of you missed Tuesday, go back and listen to what Taylor said she's going to do with her foam tape. I love it. I only took the sticky off the back of one of them. And again, I have my card base folded out flat and adhere that, and I'll just squeeze my fingers in. I know if you don't like getting in here to get these backings off, I know a lot of people say they take all the backing off and they put a little bit of liquid glue so that you have a little bit of time to wiggle and get it in place. This is my method so that I don't have to worry about it grabbing the whole entire panel from me.
Someone asked if Combo Club is opening up next Tuesday.
Is that true?
It is.
Oh, I can say that.
Yes.
Combo Club is opening up next Tuesday. That's fun.
So we might
Yes.
sign up.
Yep. I can't wait. I don't know that they've given too many details about it, but it's going to be good. So, yes. So there is our card for today. Again, I saw someone, I don't know if this was an earlier comment, but yes, this is Gumball and Blueberry were the 2 colors that I used on this. And I'll bring in my other cards in case anyone wanted. I used obviously very similar color combos from the actual Taylor tutorial that's in the kit. And then this one was blue corn and gold and Gumball again. So that is my card for today. I didn't even keep you guys long. I did a few things ahead of time in hopes that I wouldn't go over and keep you too long today. So make sure you check things out on Saturday and then join us back on Tuesday. Taylor will be here at 10 a.m. to talk about the exciting news for next week. So I hope you get some crafting done today and do something that just gets your crafty thoughts going.